Hello and welcome to a driveway with a car on it. Now, last week you saw me look at cars, and today I'm gonna look at a car, but look at it in minute detail. This is, of course, a review of the 2021 Skoda Kamiq. We're gonna do a whole walk around this car, and we're gonna start with the front. As you can see, Skoda badge. For those who don't know what Skoda is a Czech brand. A Czech brand that's actually been going for many years. Right now, currently owned by Volkswagen, probably will be owned by Volkswagen for many more years, already has been owned by Volkswagen since some time, I can't remember. But it is a very 2020s design. This, the actual Skoda Kamiq, is the smallest car in the Skoda SUV range. They have the Kamiq, the Kodak, and the Kodiaq. And although this is the smallest, it's still quite large inside. We're gonna go look inside in a bit. But on the outside, it's not massive. But it is still a very 2020s design, because you have these split headlights over here. We have a big grille with fake plastic chrome. Plastic grille, I mean, what cars don't have plastic grills? But down here, we have plastic, sort of front splitter looking thing. I feel like this could be turned to aerodynamics if you wanted to. Coming around to the side here, we actually get a nice side profile. It's not large. Again, you can see it's actually quite compact, which is nice. You know, it's like a slightly lifted hatchback that's slightly larger. These wheels, I quite like. They're not super diamond cut black bits everywhere. It's nice and clean and simple, and yet still a little bit sort of designery and, again, 2020s. Side mirror, nothing much to say. We have 5 doors because the rear hatch counts as one. Right, coming around the back, we can see Skoda. Now, I don't like this. I think this is silly. Why don't you just have the badge instead of the lettering? You have the lettering, you don't have the badge. I think if people recognize badges more, they'd perhaps build more of a brand image with the logo, but there's not really a problem with it. Some brands do it a little bit more, like BYD, when it says build your dreams on the back. Quite silly. But there is actually this little thing. I can't remember what it's called in grammar or whatever. So basically how you say the name is not Skoda, it's Skoda, because Czech. Again, you have the Kamiq badge down here. It doesn't say the trim level, or like, it doesn't say like 1 litre something, which I'm not super happy about. I'd like to be able to tell what trim it is. Again, we have more plastic bits down here. And if you look under the car, there is an exhaust somewhere. Here you go. You got twin exits down there. That's pretty cool. Let's have a look at the boot. We can actually, I'm pretty sure we can open the boot, or, no, it's not that kind of boot. It's just, yeah, you just unlock it. Let's not have a look in there. A big boot. Here we have the fuel cap. The fuel cap. Fuel. This is petrol car, not diesel car, because it is. And now, this is the more interesting part. We're now actually going to have a look inside of the car. So, let's have a look. Again, I think this is, before we go in, a very 2020s interior. Although, one thing it does have is some things that you wouldn't find on some other car. Now, in here, it's actually quite spacious. You get plenty of leg room on both sides. You get a small touchscreen, which is small for nowadays. I like it. It's very much not intrusive or anything. You get 2 analog dials, and when you do turn the car on, it actually comes up with a speedo figure and a lot of other driving data you can have on it, which is pretty cool. It's like good if you want to glance at the little screen there and quickly see your speed instead of looking over there. It's not really designed to have the speed and revs there. It's like sort of there just for like retro looks. One thing that, again, not many other modern cars have nowadays is a manual gearbox and a mechanical handbrake. This is great if you want to do handbrake turns. This is great if you want to like be a person who actually likes driving. You get 6 speeds, which is nice. In the base model of the Skoda Kamiq, then you only get 5 gears and like 75 horsepower, which is less than the Renault 5 GT from the 1980s. Let that sink in. All right, moving on to the climate control buttons. We actually have physical buttons, which is really nice. You have heat, cold. That's all you're getting. You have fan, 1, 2, 3, 4 levels of fan, and you have AC, circulation in the car stuff. You can change that. That's pretty much it. Otherwise, you have a lock button, hazard button, plasticky but nice. The nice sort of air conditioning vents. They're quite visible, which I do like. I don't like the hidden ones. They're just kind of silly. And yeah, otherwise, not really much to say. It's a nice and minimalistic interior, but not done like the new BMW Neue Klasse, for instance. At the top here, we've got the SOS, the bloody blah, all of that. Lights, very nice. These are actually just normal. They can be brighter, you know. That's lower level, brighter level, not super big. You get sun visor with a mirror, which is always nice. Comes out, so you can block the sun on your right. That one blocks the sun on your left. And again, not super. You get one sunglasses box to store your sunglasses. You get this, not sure what it is for. You get the mirror that can it has 2 modes in case someone with the very brightest LEDs is coming up behind you. Glove box down here, small. Glove box down there, which is big, about the size of the boot on a Ford GT. Now, we also over here have 4 window switches for each windows. We have lock window, which my dad likes to do. We have adjusting the mirrors here. We also have this, and no, this is not the ABS button. This is the auto start off, so that when you stop, the engine will keep running. Because for people who want to get a good launch and go brah, 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 like you're not driving a Porsche, but there you go. Some people want to do that. Anyhow, in here we have 12 volt, a thing. Not sure what that's for again. Over here we have a thing. We like to use this for toilet paper. Toilet paper so that we can have paper, basically. Very nice. And it's actually the perfect size as well. It actually slides forwards as well, so you have a sort of armrest here. You can shift gears quite nicely. It's all together very well put together, I'd say. The build quality is pretty good. Right. Also, it's here we have the cup holders. Now, these aren't super because they don't really fit that many cups. They fit coffee cups, okay. Not super, not good for water bottles. They're good for the glove box down there. What am I saying? Not the glove box, the cup, just the big pocket down there, and there's one down there as well. That one's used for maps though, because we like to have our maps. Also, if we come out, actually, no, before we come out, there's the wheel adjust. It's all mechanical. You don't have any electronic. One last thing before we go to the back and have a look. Horn. Horn. Now, coming into the back of the car, we have the smaller door, still very easy to get into. Still, we have so much legroom, right? Bear in mind, these seats are the normal positions for the driver and the passenger. And you have so much legroom, the cameraman can comfortably sit in the spot where the legs are supposed to be. Which is a good thing because we can get a close-up of here. We have vents. Wow. I think there are other buttons here sometimes, but you know, base model. But it's not the base model, obviously, but it's still pretty basic. Otherwise, we have, up here, we have lights. Very nice. Basically just the same. Have these emergency handles if you want to hold on in case of an emergency. I don't know why. Also, we have coat hangers. I'm not sure. Skoda Superb is famous for having an umbrella in its door compartment, like the Rolls-Royce. A coat hanger. That's a really nice luxury feature that you don't get on other cars. Well, you might do. Notice how I haven't opened the engine yet. Because a very silly thing that Skoda and Volkswagen are very lazy about is that when they're putting a car from left-hand drive to right-hand drive, they can change all of that. They don't change the hood release, which is right here. Very sort of quirky thing. Now, if we lift this up, there's actually a little button. Ah, no, it's a little toggle. You just have to... Ah. Hey, there you go. Ugh. Let's take that out. There you go. Put that up there. There we go. And now we can admire this engine, which is I think it's a 1 litre. Not sure what it says on here. No, it won't say on here. No, they're not that kind of people, are they? It's not bad. It's a 4-cylinder, I think. It has plenty of engine covers and sound noise cancelling things, so it's not too loud. When the engine is on, though, it is still, like, you can still hear it. It sounds a bit like a lawnmower accelerating, but there you go. That's just modern cars for you. Again, we can just see it's not super, very 2020s, very modern, very boring. But not boring enough for me to not do a review on it. Bam. Right. One thing that I forgot to say when we were looking at the front is that the sort of twin split headlights, it doesn't actually have any fog lights. This sort of acts as the fog lights. But at the top, you actually have this sort of interesting pattern, which I don't think has any sort of technological feature that makes it anything better. Just makes it look different, which is something that I appreciate. We don't want just the same white, flat, automatic, silly, quiet, electric boxes roaming around. This is not electric, obviously. I wouldn't. Otherwise, that's enough that I think we're going to say that is the tour of the car rounded off, and we can get into the second part of the video, where we do a little bit of driving. So, onto the driving, and on the motorway, by no means is it really, really loud, but it is just a little bit audible. It's quite nice, actually. You can hear it, but it's not super silent, so you can really get a sort of dynamic feel of what the car's doing. The gear lever is not really as smooth as some cars, but it is not clunky or mushy or like a bowl of soup or anything like that. The ride, especially on the motorway, is really quite smooth. You get basically no big bumps unless you ride over a big bump. And the audio in here is really quite nice as well. It's quite quiet, but again, you can hear everything that's happening outside. Also, you can definitely hear what's happening outside if you have the window open. Right, getting onto twistier roads now, and here you can probably get a much more dynamic feel of what the car's actually like to drive. It does tip a bit, but that's just because comfort suspension. It's not a race car. It doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be super stiff, and it doesn't roll too much, and it doesn't stay stiff, which is, I think Skoda found like the perfect sort of balance for the suspension, which they should have done by now, because they've been in the market for a very long time. Otherwise, accelerating, deaccelerating is really quite smooth, especially when the driver is quite smooth. But otherwise it is quite easy to drive if you're a beginner. Also, while driving, we can also get a very good look at the speedometer. It's very unobtrusive, unless you want to look at it, obviously. But it's not massive, but the car is designed for you to read the screen more than the dials, which I like. I don't like digital dials. I don't like them. It feels like they might tell me the wrong speeds sometimes. Personally, I think this is actually a very nice all-in-all package for a sort of normal car. So that's about it, and if you're looking for a proper review, you'd better check CarWow. Tune in next week, where I will be talking everything that happened in cars in April. But in the meantime, you can watch this video where I went car spotting. For now though, I'm Thomas, this is the Full English Cars. Thanks for watching.